Hey everyone, I'm Benjamin David from the Board Game Vault, and I am here with my brother, Samuel Weston. I would be the board games expertise, and he would be the construction expertise. So, Sam, what are we going to do first, and why?
Well, we're starting with rough sawn dried material. So that means we need to dimensional lumber. To get to dimensional lumber, we're going to have to go through a couple processes. We're going to have to joint one face, plane another face, and then run everything through the table saw, get it down to size. So right now we're going through all the material we have that's rough sawn, picking out the nicest, clearest parts of the timber, get a nice straight grain, orientation of the grain the right way, and then also just rough cutting pieces to size so that as we process them, we can keep them established for the different parts that we need them to have.
All right, so we're rough cutting to size, but then what are we going to be using first? Like the planer? Are we going to be just cutting to rough size, or what tools are we going to be using first?
So once we cut pieces to rough side, we will use the jointer to establish a plane on two sides that are 90 degrees to each other. That way, along the process of using the table saw or the router, whatever, we have nice parallel faces that are at a right angle to deal with. So that's pretty much what we're starting with.
Here we go, off to the jointer. Some of the first wood. We've got the long and short sides of the table, and then here we have what we are going to use for the leaves. Now some of these are wider than others, but that's because we'll split them and plane them together, and they will be our leaves. So we just finished planing all of this lumber, and it took a lot longer than I expected. We were probably going at it for, well, I don't know, probably a couple of hours to get it down to 3/4. But this is what we're going to cut and turn into our leaves. So we'll glue those together tonight, and hopefully tomorrow they will be ready to go. As you can see, we've got the big kahuna lumber out. So right now we are going to cut and size our lumber for the legs of the table. So we got 8 legs to cut. All right, so tonight's fiasco was testing and trying out our accessory rail system. Now, we had looked at some other tables and we had a lot of different ideas of how to do the rail system, and we thought we had the way that we liked it best, and tonight we decided to try it before we actually do all the work on making the pieces tomorrow. So if this makes sense, this piece is what would be on the end of the attachment. So this is what is going to go into the table, and then the attachment would come off this way, whether it's your cup holder or your player desk. That would be over here. So you can see you've got a rounded edge here, and then you've got a little piece sticking up there. And in our files and stuff, it looked good, but we made it, we tested it, and it worked, but I was just too worried that this little 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch piece, it just seemed like it's going to be too easy to break off. So I talked with Sam, and the first idea was just to extend this whole piece another 1/8 inch this way. So that way this piece on top would be an 1/8 inch high, but then a 1/4 inch wide. So we thought about that, but then the problem is this whole piece here then has to go another 1/8 inch, and there's just going to be more material that has to slide in like that. And this perfect 1/2 inch kind of cutout right here, it just wouldn't work, because now you've got to go, I guess it'd be 3/4 of an inch into the table. So that would have made this little piece that sticks out a little stronger, but it was just going to be hard how to mill that and stuff. So another idea we thought about was, instead of having this little piece stick up, kind of having a ramp that approaches it. So we tried that and it worked. The only problem was you only had to lift it up a little for it to slide out of the table. So that made it really easy to get in, and it was strong, but that means if you bump your accessory at all a little up, then it's sliding out. So what we decided to do was, instead of only going up an 1/8 inch, we decided to go up a 1/4 of an inch. So this is kind of our 3.0. So instead of going up an 1/8 inch, now we're going up a 1/4 inch, and then we've got this 45-degree angle here. And now, as you can see, this piece here is going to be a lot stronger than that little 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch nubbin, I guess you could say. So I'm very happy that this piece, I think, is going to last a lot longer. And also because it's a 45-degree angle and 1/2 an inch high instead of a 1/4 of an inch high instead of an 1/8 inch high, you need a much higher angle before the accessory comes out. So we're very happy with this. It's going to be a lot stronger. Once it's in, it's going to stay in better, but it's still going to come out easy. So this took us a couple hours to keep making the piece that it has to go into, as well as these pieces. So here's kind of a side view of how this is going to work. So this piece is going to go in like that, and again, there's a little extra space back there, but we'll finish that up tomorrow. But that's pretty much it. And again, that piece has got to be at a much higher angle to come out. So we're happy with it. 3.0, we'll take it. Alright, so day one, we pretty much got all of our lumber to size for most of the stuff that we needed. So we did a lot on the jointer, a lot on the planer, and pretty much over and over again. And a lot of that we used to put the leaves together. And then, what else did we do?
The legs down to size.
Yes, we got the legs down to size, and then in the evening we did a lot of tests with our accessory rail system, and didn't like the first one, liked the second one a little better, and finally accessory system 3.0 we liked the best. So that was pretty much day one.